I never thought I'd witness something so horrifying. Our village was peaceful, but beneath that calm surface, darkness was brewing. It all started with Alida, a girl whose beauty was unmatched. Her smile lit up the darkest nights, and her laughter danced through the fields. But Alida had a secret that would change everything. Alida was kind to everyone. She helped the elders, played with the children, and always had a comforting word for those in need. Everyone adored her. She was like a ray of sunshine in our village. But as I watched her grow, I noticed something unsettling in her eyes, a fire that didn't match her sweet demeanor. The men in our village were drawn to her like moths to a flame, boasting about their conquest and thinking they were untouchable. But Alida saw through them. She knew their secrets, the way they treated women like objects and the cruel jokes they made about those who suffered at their hands. I often overheard whispers among the women about how some men would brag about their exploits, laughing off the pain they caused. One evening, Juma went missing. He was charming but had a dark side, known for his rough treatment of women. The villagers searched everywhere but found no trace of him. Alida acted upset, but I sensed something different in her demeanor. Where could he have gone? I asked her one day as we sat by the river. He probably got lost, she replied with a hint of a smile that sent chills down my spine. Then another man disappeared, Kofi, who was notorious for his cruelty. Whispers filled the air, some blamed spirits or dark magic. But deep down, I felt Alida's presence behind it all. I approached Alida one day while she was fetching water from the river. Alida, I said cautiously, people are scared. They think something is happening to the men. She looked at me with those piercing eyes and smiled softly. Sometimes, people need to learn lessons, she replied cryptically. I didn't understand what she meant then, but it sent chills down my spine. One moonless night, I heard screams coming from the woods near the river. My heart raced as I ran toward the sound. When I arrived, I saw Alida standing over a man, one of those who had taken advantage of women in our village. He was on his knees, trembling. Alida, what are you doing? I shouted. She turned to me, calm yet fierce. He needs to pay for what he's done, she said softly. Before I could react, she moved quickly, and in an instant, it was over. The man fell silent, and my stomach turned as I realized what she had done. The next day, more men were missing. Each time, Alida acted as if nothing happened. She continued to smile and help others as if she hadn't just committed unspeakable acts of revenge. The village grew restless and confused. Some men left in fear, others tried to confront her but backed down when they saw her unwavering gaze. One evening, I gathered my courage and confronted Alida again. You can't keep doing this. You're hurting people. Her eyes narrowed as she stepped closer to me. You don't understand, she whispered fiercely. I'm cleansing this village of evil. I felt trapped between fear and disbelief as she explained her twisted logic about restoring balance and finding love again once the men who hurt women were gone. Days passed, and rumors spread that Alida was planning one final act, a grand finale to rid the village of all immoral men once and for all. That night, I couldn't sleep. I crept outside and followed her into the woods where she often went alone. What I found made my blood run cold. A gathering of men, those who had escaped her wrath, were waiting for her. They were armed with torches and pitchforks, ready to confront her once and for all. As Alida appeared from the shadows, she looked different, more powerful than ever before. You think you can stop me, she laughed darkly. The men charged at her in anger, but what happened next was beyond anything I could have imagined. With a swift motion that seemed almost supernatural, she took them down one by one. I stood frozen in horror as screams filled the air again, this time not just from one victim but many. When dawn broke over our village, it was forever changed. The men who had roamed free were either gone or too terrified to show their faces again. Alida returned to us as if nothing had happened, still smiling, still helping others, but now there was an unsettling aura around her. Some said she had become a spirit herself, others whispered that she was cursed forever to wander between worlds until balance was restored completely. In the weeks that followed, life in our village became eerily quiet. Women began to gather more often. They shared stories about their experiences with the missing men and expressed relief that they no longer felt unsafe walking alone at night. But there was also fear, a fear of what Alida might do next. Some women admired her bravery, others whispered that she had gone too far. I often found myself watching Alida from a distance as she went about her daily tasks, helping an old woman carry firewood or playing with children in the fields, but there was something unsettling about her now. One night, while lying in bed, I heard soft whispers outside my window. Curiosity got the better of me. I crept outside to see what was happening. To my shock, I found several villagers gathered around Alida under the old baobab tree. They were chanting softly as if participating in some ritual, a mix of fear and reverence hung thick in the air. "What are you doing?" I asked hesitantly as I approached them. A woman turned to me with wide eyes filled with awe. "We are honoring Alida," she said breathlessly. "She has freed us from our fears." "But at what cost?" I replied weakly. No one answered me. Instead, they continued their chanting as if entranced by something greater than themselves. Days turned into weeks until one fateful night when everything came crashing down again. Another man, a newcomer named Malik, arrived in our village. He seemed charming at first but quickly caught wind of Alida's reputation and began spreading rumors about her being a witch among some villagers who were still skeptical of what had happened. That night, under a full moon, Malik gathered a group of men who had remained hidden since Alida's rampage began. They were angry and ready for revenge against what they believed was an injustice against their kind. "Enough is enough!" Malik shouted into the night air as he rallied them together near the riverbank where many victims had disappeared before him. I felt compelled to intervene. This couldn't end well for anyone involved, not after everything we'd been through already. "Alida!" I called out desperately into the darkness surrounding us all as Malik continued inciting his followers against her presence looming nearby like an ominous shadow waiting patiently for retribution. Alida emerged from behind a cluster of trees with an eerie calmness about her. It sent shivers down my spine seeing how easily she commanded attention without uttering a single word. "Leave this place!" Malik yelled defiantly at her while brandishing a torch threateningly above his head, but instead of retreating or showing fear like any normal person would do facing such aggression, she simply smiled. "I am not afraid," Alida replied coolly before taking slow deliberate steps forward towards him until they stood mere feet apart, the tension palpable between them. "You think you can intimidate me?" Malik spat angrily back at her while trying desperately not to show any signs of weakness despite shaking slightly under pressure. "I'm here to cleanse this village once more," she declared boldly without hesitation. What followed next felt surreal. It seemed time slowed down around us all as chaos erupted suddenly when Malik lunged forward trying desperately to strike first, but before he could even reach out towards Alida, she vanished into thin air right before our very eyes. Panic swept through everyone present, some screamed while others froze in shock. And then came an ear-splitting roar echoing throughout every corner surrounding us. It sounded like thunder crashing above, accompanied by flashes illuminating everything around us, momentarily blinding everyone present. When it finally subsided, there stood Malik alone, trembling uncontrollably amid scattered debris left behind from whatever force had just transpired moments ago. In the aftermath of that nightmarish encounter with Malik's group, things changed drastically once more within our village. A sense of unease lingered heavily over everyone present. Many chose not to speak openly about what transpired, fearing repercussions should they dare question anything regarding Alida's motives anymore. As weeks passed, rumors spread claiming sightings reported near riverside areas where victims once disappeared. Some claimed seeing shadows darting between trees, while others spoke about hearing whispers echoing through moonlit nights, warning them never to venture too close lest they too become victims. And yet amid all this turmoil, Alida remained untouched by any accusations thrown against her. Now every time someone mentions her name, it sends chills down spines, reminding us all too well how easily darkness can consume even those we thought innocent. As for me, I still see glimpses of Alida sometimes when walking through familiar paths, the laughter ringing faintly behind me like haunting melodies, refusing ever to fade away completely. The village is quieter now. Some say it's safer without those men around, but every time I see Amina smile, I can't help but wonder, at what cost did we achieve this peace? And will anyone ever truly be safe again? Did you enjoy the tale? I hope so. Please like and share the video, drop your comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Thanks for watching and see you on the next.